everybody. So, one of the stamp sets, I'm just going to warn you from the very beginning, one of the stamp sets that we're looking at is For Unto Us, which that's going to make me sing, so I'm probably most likely going to sing for you. For Unto Us, just saying that, it's hard to say, because I want to say, For Unto Us a child is born. So, there you go, I've already started. But as I'm playing with the set, you betcha I'm going to probably sing a little bit. So, hope that brings you some joy to hear some song and card making at the same time. So, with that being said, I am going to show you 3 things. So I'm trying to just show you simple Christmas cards that you can make with these sets and with the Pines embossing folder too. So no matter what, this is going to be for you, no matter what stamp sets you have already, or ones that are on your wish list. Hey Holly! Yes, come visit me later. Oh great. Yes, I'm gonna be showing off some cards using some of the papers that we'll do in the paper share, because they're awesome awesome papers. I'll do a little bit of show and tell, but I am going to show you a few cards because I want to show you how simple you can make some cards, especially when you've got packages and all kinds of designer paper. And this is where I'll show you the advantage of being able to mix up and make different looking cards, but kind of the same or similar template, but they'll look completely different when you're using different designer paper. So let me know when you come on. Say hi. I love when I have visitors. And I was silly enough who paints their nails 5 minutes before you're supposed to go on live videos making cards with your hands? I did, and they don't look awesome at all. So I'm kind of cracking myself up over here because they look really bad. What I should have done is just remove all of the nail polish, but no, I painted a little layer over, and now they're still a little bit sticky, and we'll see, this could be fun. So, welcome to the Comedy Central, I guess, today. So, and I think I forgot to say, I'm Bethany Pierce, hi, with Stampin' Up, and I just am so excited. I know it's still September, but guess what, guys? 100 days, today, from now, is Christmas. 100 days. So now begins the countdown. Now is the fun time to start ordering those papers and things that you want for Christmas cards, because, I don't know, I guarantee you some of the stuff is going to go on back order because it's all so beautiful. And so it's nice when you can order plenty early, so you, one, have time to think of ideas, and you don't feel so rushed getting your cards done. So lots of reasons to order early. Plus, right now, there's only 13 days left to order till September 29th is over, and I'm not sure I'm going to make it this year, guys, but this is closer than I've ever been before to making the cruise happen for me and my husband. So I still want to say thank you, and I'm not going to give up. I have until the 29th. Thank you so much for those of you who've been throwing in some extra orders for me this month, that a lot of you already order on a regular basis. So thank you for putting in some extra for me. You guys are awesome. You rock. And I'm so glad that I can pamper and kind of spoil all of you. Again, since August 15th, any of you who order a $50 order, or did from August 15th till September 29th, whether I make the cruise or not, I will, if I do end up making the cruise, I'm going to give every single one of you who did a $50 order a free stamp set of your choice. Woo-hoo. Would be so fun. I'd love to do that. But if I don't make the cruise, I will still let you pick out a free accessory. So like a free ribbon, or it could be the Linka Stella glitter brush, or some sparkly thing, some of the dots or Stella dots, or rhinestones, any of that. So I will still give you a free gift. So thank you so much. And thank you to all my Paper Pumpkin subscribers too. I'm really excited to get my September box. And then the October box is going to be Christmas, so of course I can't skip that, because their Christmas cards are always gorgeous. So, thank you to you all. Let's get into, I'll show you in the catalog first what stamp sets I'm showing you today, and then we'll do a little fun. So, let me turn around without smudging my awful looking, guys. Because then they'll just look worse. Again, if you're coming in, just say hi, let me know. Are you doing Christmas cards? If you're, tilt it up a little bit. If you are doing Christmas cards, even if you're doing it from a past stamp set, an old one that you've already had, it's good to get fresh ideas with even some of your old stamp sets. So, in our catalog, the sets that I'm going to showcase today are this Christmas Means More, and this one's fun because, and I had to have it, it's a great set to use, little sayings to use on the inside or the outside of your card. And these are all, and I'll wait till later to see if you can play along, because these are all quotes from different movies, which is kind of fun. And I love the imagery of like the little bells with the one that mentions a bell, the little note with the one that talks about singing, and then the little hollies. I love it. So we're going to talk about that one. This is called Christmas Means More. It's just a $16 set because it's a photopolymer. So that means these stamps are completely clear, so you can see exactly where you're stamping. And then the other set that we're going to look at, which I had to have as well, because I do love having ones that focus on Jesus, because he is the reason for the season. This is the For Unto Us, number 153335. It's a $21 set. It's got 9 different stamps in it, but it's a cling stamp set. So, meaning that it's here's the one. It's got our red rubber on it, and the sticky stickers on there, which are very sticky. But I love these because they are, a lot of them are quotes right from songs, which was cool because when I saw this, I was like, wait, I just had filled out a survey for Stampin' Up, and these were a lot of things I said I wanted to have in this stamp set with songs from Christmas hymns. So we've got, oh, come, let us adore him. And we've got, for unto us a child is born. And we have, hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. So there's some fun ones right from songs, which I love. See, I'm already singing. Are you singing along with me? And then we are going to look at, because I think this is a missed one. This is kind of a hidden treasure. The Evergreen Forest embossing folder is really cool. It's a 3D embossing folder, just a little background of pine trees, but it's really pretty. I'm going to show you, which I'll show you an example that, this kind of inspired me. I love the look of this embossing folder on our bronze metal paper, which is really cool. And then since I have the catalog out, I did want to show you, I don't have this bundle, and I've been very tempted by it, but there's a one that says, hark the herald angel sings from the one, and every time the bell rings, an angel gets a swing. And I've seen some cute examples on Pinterest if you look up this Dove of Hope bundle, and the wings from the doves make a really cute angel as well. So I'm tempted to get that one. So there's some cool stamp sets that really go well with some of the sayings, but again, you don't necessarily have to have those sets. Here's another bundle that I didn't get, but I've been so tempted. Again, the dies are always what get me, because these dies are so cool. They cut out these intricate designs in these bells. So again, every time a bell rings, that would be so cool to have some extra little bells. Here's those bells cut out in I think those are just sponge, but they look really pretty in the bronze metal too. So there's so many examples. I know I don't want to overwhelm you. But the first thing I'm going to show you is how cool this embossing folder is. So this is a 3D embossing folder. So in the new, or with the old Big Shot, we used the purplish blue platform with this. With the new die cutting machine, that thicker gray platform is what you'll use with the 3D embossing folders. And you just slip your paper in there and roll it through the die cutting machine, and voila. Wow, wasn't that fast? you get trees. And I love the 3D embossing folders are super cool because it almost looks like these trees are in the front and then those are in the background. So it really is a cool texture of trees. Let me show you just a couple show and tell. Here was one similar but different from the one we saw in the magazine, but because I just used a strip of the copper brushed metal paper. And if you do the paper share, you will get pieces of the brushed metal in all three colors, the copper, the bronze, and the gold. And they're super fun to emboss over. And then I used the Merry Christmas for the 4 and 2S. And I just left the other piece white. So pretty and pretty simple. This one, hint hint, may be a part of my holiday retreat. Super simple card. It does use the pretty, I think this is the bronze color, I would say. But so pretty and easy because you just put your piece of paper through the Big Shot. This is the gold foil. It's got a trim already, so it's already scored paper for you. And then they come with gold envelopes, so cool. So all you have to do is stamp the Hark the Herald and cut it out with either a big punch that you have, or I used the stitched oval shapes, and on the inside I just put Glory to the Newborn King. So this may be one, I'm just giving you a hint, of the card designs that I would use for my holiday retreat. Now real fast, I'm going to do a simple example. This is from the pretty Feels Like Frost designer paper, and I did already emboss it to save time for you, because I have a few cards to show you. I'm going to use the soft suede ink and a sponge, and I'm going to sponge. I don't know if I wanted to be that dark, but that's right, we're going to go with it. I'm going to sponge around the edges and over the trees a little bit, so not over all the trees. But when you sponge over stuff, it just adds a new depth. And you see, I'm just scraping it, because sometimes if you just want to press on the sides, you get too much ink. So I scrape on the edges when I'm sponging. All right, now I'm going to sponge over the tree tops here. And I'm not even re-inking because I don't want it to be too dark. And I want to still be able to see that pretty background paper too. But isn't that cool? That just brought out that background of bigger pine trees. And then you still can see the picturesque look of the pines from the designer paper. Isn't that cool? And we will just use a simple white background. Again, I show you guys lots of examples with using just our thick white cardstock. I'm just going to get out my paper trimmer here, 4 1/4, just halfway in between, and I will just score that. That really helps make the crisp line, so you don't end up bending your, or I don't know, sometimes if you just try to fold it, it just doesn't work as well. And then if you have a bone folder, and yes, this is a Pampered Chef rubber scraper. They are multi-purpose. They're awesome for anything. And then we'll stick this up on the white. I like that it has a little white border on there. Usually when I am on the other side of the Feels Like Frost paper, it is like a silver foil and it's designed. So I know it's always hard to cover up one side of a two-sided designer paper. This is where halfway through repainting my nails, I said to myself, what was I thinking doing that? Now I have to be even more careful. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, so we're going to try to center this on the card. And it just has a little bit of a border. And then I'm going to use the "Oh Come Let Us Adore Him." Oh come let us adore Him. I really wanted to use the Highland Heather. There we go. The Highland Heather is a little bit lighter than the Gorgeous Grape. Because there's some purples and pinks in there, I did want to just accent with the purple. So I'm just going to stamp right on there, and a little bit over to the side. You don't want to rock, you just want to press down. And with my soft suede, you get a couple little accent pieces in the, so I'm using a different set. The other one, what is that, Christmas mean for? So as a little accent, fun. Oh, come let us adore Him. And when you're using this pretty paper, obviously you don't want to cover up too much of the paper because it's so pretty. Oh, come let us adore Him. I'm going to use my Wicked Stella and just swipe over the adore. And trying to think if I want to pop that up with dimensionals again. I think I will. 1, 2, 3. I love dimensionals. Almost every time I place the demo order, I order more dimensionals because I love them. And you guys know we have mini ones too, right? Those are awesome for popping up smaller detailed things. I love those too. Alright, so I'm going to put this, where am I going to put this? It is really hard to know what to cover up because I love the look of all of it. But I'm going to go right there. And isn't that pretty? That didn't take very much time at all. So this Pines embossing folder adds a lot of depth and beauty to your cards really quickly. So again, here's one with that brushed metal. Again, if you want to do that paper share, you're going to get pieces of that. Here's another piece over just white and the copper bronze metal. So the Pines are, like I said, a hidden treasure. And then when you have this 4-on-2S stamp set, or you might have other Christmas sayings, you can easily add a little saying to it. Now get ready, because I'm going to hopefully not overwhelm you, but I'm going to also show you again how pretty this paper is, the Feels Like Frost paper. And you will get pieces of the Feels Like Frost if you do the paper share. I think this one was one of my favorite patterns. The Pines, obviously, I used it 20. So there I only added a little embossed Winter Wonderland. This one I added the tree on there. You can make it for anniversary. You can use it for birthday cards. I used it for some of the other background pieces I used with my the shaker stamp set that we have. That's still available. Here I used it again in the background of a shaker card. Here I used the other side. Remember I said on the other side of the Feels Like Frost, it's got foil, so I sponged over that. Here's designer paper used in the background. I love that our snowman one is still available. The snowman is so cute. Any of these stamp sets that you already have, because I know some of you have already ordered these from last year, these are current stamp sets, so if you've already purchased these are great ones to still mix up those stamp sets that I'm showcasing too. If you have any of our dies, the star dies are an amazing thing to use during Christmas time as well. And with some of our designer paper, you cut out a star with some of the wood grain, or even if you wanted to make it more Christmassy, or our bright sparkly ones, the stars make a great Christmas card. I've shown you in the past, I've shown you how to use strips of the paper. So I did this quick one with some of my scraps of paper and just went sideways, and then after I had pasted them all down on the front of the card, I just flipped it over and used my scissors, and there were uneven pieces sticking off, and I just went down and trimmed them all off. And then you have a fun little scrappy card here. And this stamp set, the Christmas Means More, comes with the little holly leaves and the little bell too. So every time the bell rings, an angel gets his wings. Guys, what movie is this from? Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. Can you guys tell me? I might send you a card if you interact with me. So let me know if you can guess, because this is a perfect time to guess all of them too. I guess we'll guess as we go. So every time a bell rings, an angel gets a wing. At the end, we'll go over what quotes those come from. So this is the Snowflake Splendor. Yes, Yvonne, It's a Wonderful Life. Love It's a Wonderful Life. This snowflake paper, the Snowflake Splendor paper, is already on back order. When it's on back order, you can order it. It's just not coming till later. So when I do the paper share too, some of the paper may not come right away, but I will make sure to get everybody's. If I have to mail it to you, it'll come sometime in October, so still plenty of time to get stuff done. This is some of the actual Halloween paper in the background of that snowflake, using just a strip of designer paper. So these are ones I've currently showed you. You are going to get a little sample of the balmy blue glimmer paper too, if you do the paper share. Here's one that I did use, the Christmas, or 4 and 2X stamp set with the snowflakes. So again, no matter what you have, whatever stamp set, here's in the pines. Remember I showed you cutting that out so you can see both sides of the designer paper. It's fun. Here's another one with the snowflake. I really love the Snowflake Splendor paper. It's probably one of my favorites out of the holiday. Here's paper from, I think it's from the Heartwarming Hugs. You'll get some of that paper. Those are more traditional green and red papers. And the pines that I showed you a while ago. This may be another card that we use in my holiday retreat too, using the pines, because it's so cute. I love it. I love this one. And you will also get some of the plaid paper in the paper share. Again, I'm just showing this is the final show of the of all the examples of paper, more Snowflake Splendor, because today is the last day to tell me you want a paper share, because I want to make sure it gets to you all in time. And we're closing out this club, so I wanted to get all that paper ordered sooner rather than later. So I'll give you more details about the paper share. I had quite a few people who've asked for the $40 paper share. If you want to choose the... Hi, Sarah! Yay! Hola! ¿Cómo está? Muy bien? Oh, I love when people... I have a friend who visits me, Maxie, who visits me from Germany sometimes. So much fun when I get international friends to come visit me. Love you, Sarah. Amor, I don't really know how to say I love you. I have very limited Spanish. Okay, so that was the embossing folder. There was a few examples of cards. You're fine. Me too. All right, so let's look at some other cards that we can make. Okay, well, I've got more people participating here. Okay, so we figured out every time a bell rings, an angel gets wings. That is from It's a Wonderful Life. Thank you, Yvonne. Does anyone know what movie, and my boys love this movie, maybe that's a little bit of a clue. The best way to spread Christmas cheer is for singing loud for all to hear. Do you guys know what movie that is from? It's a really funny movie. Yes, I love these stamps too. They're great, both of these. These are the ones I'm showcasing here. So, next person, let me know. I'll send you a card if you know. So, Yvonne, I'll be sending you a thank you card for interacting with me. Thank you. Who knows what the best way to spread Christmas cheer is for singing loud for all to hear? What movie is that from? Yes, speaking of that one, the best way to spread Christmas cheer, let's make a card using that saying. And again, I wanted to show you guys how easy it is to make a card with when you've got designer paper, and then we're mixing. I'm using all kinds of different, because I know some of you have some of these. I know not all of you have all of them like I do. This is, what color is this? Seaside Spray, and some of our plaid paper. I'm going to score this real quick. The other paper folds pretty well too, but it's so much nicer when you trim it or score it with your scoring and cutting tool. And then I'll use my, that's what I thought was going to happen with. Okay, now I cut out, this matches, this die is a rectangled and, or not rectangled, a stitched and scalloped rectangle from the So Sentimental bundle. But here's where this is really cool. I'm going to add this designer paper. So that's a simple little background right in here, because I like the blue in the background as my card base. I think it makes the red pop even more, don't you? Is that fun? And then what we're going to do, I'm going to use the stamp right on the same color. So I'm going to ink up my saying. Nobody knows what movie this is from. The best way to spread Christmas cheer is for singing loud for all to hear. You guys are going to miss out on the chance because I'm not super patient. To get a card, you'll get a card from me if you know which one that's from. Okay, now I'm taking Pretty Peacocks, a little bit darker blue, and I'm going to use my sponge dauber, and I'm going to sponge going up almost halfway here. So I've kept some of it the same color, and then I've just sponged over the bottom with a darker color. Again, you don't want to rock, but sometimes moving it back and forth a little bit with your photopolymer sets can be okay. And isn't that fun to get a two-tone on your image? So that was just using a little sponge dauber right on the stamp before I put it down, before I inked it down on the paper. Now, it would look cute just like this, don't you think? If you could keep it super simple, but with my Forever Greenery stamps and dies, I had cut out a bunch of these in different colors, and sometimes adding just a little bit of extra, a pop of color to stuff is a fun little accent. So I'm going to add those things just with a couple glue dots. Yeah, thanks, Yvonne. That's a pretty good clue. Oh, yes. He also sings, in that movie, he sings Christmas Gram. And he ends up saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. So I don't know if that sounds familiar to you yet. Again, if you answer it correctly, I'll send you a card. The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. I think my mom's coming on. My mom would agree, right? That that's the best way to spread Christmas cheer, Mom? Is singing? I know, Mom. I see you. You're on there. I can tell before you actually say hello. That's scary. I didn't peel that off. You kind of need to peel the back off before you stick it down. All right. Mom, do you know what movie this is from? I'm sending cards to people who know these quotes. The best way, hey Teresa, do you know this? What is this quote from? The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. Oh, yeah. I started with saying hallelujah and turned into Gloria. That was weird. Yeah, sing, sing, sing. All right. If before my video is over and I haven't given it away yet, if you know what the quote is from, I'll send you a card saying thank you for playing along. Because again, all of the sayings from this Christmas theme 4 are quotes from movies. So it's kind of fun. So that is with our plaid paper. Now, who'd have thunk you could make a Christmas card with the Halloween paper, all the magic in the night. So this is some of the paper that you'll get too. Just to save time, I'm going to try to fold this without my paper trimmer score, because you can. It is nice to still have your bone folder. Okay, so this is one of our ink colors. It is the Rococo Rose. So I'm adding some pink to this Halloween paper. That's just really elegant. This is pretty peacock in color. So I'm going to glue or tape this down. That was a little bumpy there. So Teresa, do you know what movie that quote was from? My boys love it. Yvonne earlier gave a hint that it's Santa's helper. And Santa, when he went to New York, told him his advice was, you're gonna see gum all over the city, but don't think it's free candy. Leave it. So I'm giving you a lot of clues here, people. Okay, so I cut out with my, in the stitch shape dies that we have, they come in circles, squares, and ovals. So I've already used an oval with one of the cards I showed you. Holly, I know you got this, and Teresa, you got this specialty paper, this gold specialty paper that was, it's in the annual catalog, on the same pages as all the Forever greenery. The big E, come on Mom, I'll send you a card. In fact, I think I have a card for you that I didn't send yet. Or did I mail you guys a card? I did say thank you, didn't I? Anyhow, usually I do like using the gold side, but I'm going to turn it over and use the white side because I'm making a Christmas card out of it. I thought I want to use the white side. So you have that possibility. If you don't always want it to be the gold shiny, all these pieces. So I think it makes it kind of stand out a little bit when you have the white piece on there. Isn't that pretty? Now, that looks pretty on its own, that this white laser cut, or it's laser cut, but it's gold, but this gold specialty laser cut paper. Yes, Yvonne, isn't that gorgeous? Yes, just answer on here, Mom, and I'll send you a card. What movie is that from? Yvonne already knows, but she's already answered one, and I'm already sending her a card. Okay, so to show you additional things that you can do to spice up your card, even though this is pretty enough, I did take my snowflake dies and I cut some snowflakes out because I'm making a wintry, I want to make a Christmas card. I thought it'd be fun to add. Yes, Elf Mom. Good job. Yay! Mom, you will get a card from me. A Just Because card, because you're awesome for playing along. I love when people play along. Yay! Okay, so I'm tucking that behind, and then I also cut a deeper one. So this is out of our, what color is this? The Mary Merlot. Yes, I love the Mary Merlot color. So pretty. We didn't have like a burgundy color for a while, so I am so glad Stampin' Up! Came out with the Mary Merlot. So I'm going to tuck that under here. And it's okay if it gets a little bit tangled up in the white pieces. Isn't that pretty? Just getting prettier and prettier. And then also with that specialty paper, because it's all just die cut already for you. So some of them are pretty fine, so you just have to be careful as you pull them out. But this, I will leave gold, and I'll just stick a glue dot on the end of the stem here. Pick that up and shove that under there too. So that adds just a fun little gold detail. Let's see, I think I'll put that down here by the darker snowflake. So I'll stick that under here. So that's part of that gold specialty paper too, and that just adds a little extra sparkle. Yes, Mom, you were right. So, and I'm going to show you. Well, let's stamp For Unto Us a Child is Born. Now, when I'm using two different colors of markers, and this is what's awesome about our markers, and I typically use our red rubber stamps when I want to color markers on a stamp. You can do it on your folded polymer, but they can be a little bit finicky, especially when they're brand new. Okay, so I'm going to do this because I'm using the background of my card is Rococo Rose. That's what color marker I'm using right now. So I'm doing all the little words, Born to Us, and then Is Born. I'm doing all of those in the Rococo Rose, and I'm using the big, thick marker tip. So I do the lighter color first, and now I'm going to come in with the other paint tip end. You can see on the markers it will show you a thin, skinny line around one side and a thicker. That also tells you which side is your painted edge. Now I'm using the Pretty Peacock, which is the color in the designer paper in the background. So I'm just using two colors that I used in my card. And sometimes you want to be real careful as you get closer to other words that you've already colored over. So I want to be careful as I get to my L, when I get to the end. And this little swirl is kind of tricky because it goes through the word. What is that? Unto? It goes through one of the words. Okay, so I'm using my marker to color over, right over the stamp. And that's the fun and the joy. Is there silver? I don't think we have silver specialty paper, Teresa. It's just gold right now. But right now, it's gold or white. That would be pretty in silver too, though. I'll have to suggest that to Stamp It Up. Good suggestion. Because I love silver too. Okay, isn't that pretty? In two different colors? So that's a fun way to add two different colors to your card, and then it totally makes the whole card just blend together well when you've done that. So just a couple more dimensionals on the back of my thing that I just cut out with the circle stitched dies. I think they're just called stitched shapes. Isn't that so pretty? Again, not a whole lot of work. The die cut specialty, the laser specialty paper was gorgeous, kind of on its own, but then our die cutting machine, cutting out the snowflakes and the stitch shape, voila! Again, with our designer paper, you don't have to do a whole lot. So yes, this one was from Elf. Thanks, Mom. You'll get a card from me. I'll have to look at. All right, thanks for sticking with me here. Let's do one more, because I don't think I've shown you the, let me clear my space here. You'll also get a little bit of some different Christmas papers. Trimming the Town is one of them, and it's got some fun stuff in there too. So this is another way. These other two examples, I cut out my designer paper to be 4 inches by 5 1/4, so it leaves just a little bit of a trim, so you're covering pretty much the front of your card. Now here I cut out that same size piece, but I'm going to, I just cut an inch, or maybe it's an inch and a half. I cut it at an inch and a half, so it was all the same paper, but that seemed really busy to me, so I'm using both sides, and I'm going to use both sides on the card. So there's another way to use a 4, so the same size piece, 4 by 5 1/4 piece. So I'm going to glue this on the bottom. I love how hardy this the new Stampin' Seal is, and the Stampin' Seal Plus. It can feel a little bit finicky at first, but it's awesome. Alright, so now the green piece on the top. And I got it a little bit off, but that's okay. I'm going to put some red ribbon around there. Okay, now this I used our nested dies, so I already cut one out in Poppy Parade. And then I'm going to cut just the next size smaller one with my die cutting machine in white, so I can stamp my image on there. So I'm going to cut that out real quick. What I do love about the nested dies is you can use both the negative and what you cut out. The tape runners, yeah, every tape runner works a little bit different, Teresa. This one, the new ones that Stampin' Up! Just got, I find that if I just glide it and keep it close to the paper, so if I'm gliding it, say this paper, if I glide it down and then I stick it straight up and then do a little bit of a flick. Some videos have said, oh, you don't need to flick, but if you do a little bit of flick, that kind of releases the adhesive so it doesn't string along, because it is hardier than our snail. So I go along close to my cardstock, then I pick it up, and then before I actually take it off the paper, I do just a little bit flick to kind of break off that adhesive. I don't know, that's the best I can tell you. It takes a little bit of just getting used to it. Alright, so this is one of my favorite ones out of this 4 Unto Us, The Christmas Begins with Christ, because it does. I mean, Christ's name is in Christmas. And I love that it has the little green on there and the banner, so it is a fun one to color in. So, again, I'll start with my lightest color. Now, because I've got pool party background, I've got some red and green. I'm going to use green, red, and blue. So I'm going to start with my pool party, which is my lightest color. And I'm going to color just the bottom outside words. So, what is that? Begins in Christ. Yeah, I hope that helps you, Teresa. They're all a little bit different. Adhesives are. Now I'm going to do the green, and I'll do green with the little bow there, and I'll do my little line under Christmas in green. And then I'm going to do the little word with in green and hope that I can outline the banner with red. We'll see how it looks. You guys believe in me, right? We can get this. Now I totally need a new red marker. You see the end of, can you see the end of my marker? It's pretty well loved, my red. I've had it, I can't even tell you how long I've had this red marker. Guys, it's been at least 10 years maybe that I've had a red marker. And I still haven't had to re-ink it. Now, did you friends know that you can actually re-ink our markers? So fun fact, if you take a tweezer and you pull out this end, you can actually stick a few drops of re-inker in the end of the marker and then put that back in. So these markers will last literally your lifetime because you can re-ink them. And you don't always use markers on every little project, so, and if you have almost all of them like I do, you don't use every color every day either. So it makes them last a long time. Alright, this is going to be tricky getting the banner. Okay, some of you who came out later, you didn't hear my amazing fact that Christmas is actually 100 days away. 100 days away. So the countdown begins, which is why I'm focusing on Christmas cards. And I'm hoping some of you can come full of tips today. Yes, I am. That's why you guys come join me, right? And because I'm just fun. Isn't that so pretty when you've colored it with 3 different colors there? So cool. I'm telling you. The sky is the limit with what you can do with the markers. So fun. And doesn't that look pretty? I love all of our dies that have different sizes of the shape because that's a really easy way to matte that color. Or matte the white and make it pop. Now I'm going to use this twine, and I think this is from the Heartwarming Hugs bundle actually, but if you have any red ribbon or anything, ribbon is always fun, a fun little accent. I feel like I'm missing like another card that I was going, oh guys, here I thought this was the last one, but I have something really fun. I'm going to do more tips for you guys. Teresa, this one is going to wow you. You're going to be amazed. So stick along, because I have something really fun to show you. With embossing powder and sponges and designer paper, oh my. Okay, so I'm going to tie a little bow in this fun red ribbon. It's pretty thin, so it's pretty easy to manipulate, even though I didn't tie it tight enough. Now, if your bows don't tend to get very tight, if you tie, or if you make your ribbon long enough and you tie a knot in it first, so tie down a knot in it first, that helps keep it down, that helps keep it tighter, so then your fingers, when you're fumbling over it, those of you who have a hard time making the bows, you can fumble over it a little bit more and not be like, oh my goodness, I can't tie a tight bow. There, fun. A bow. Cute bow. And Christmas begins with Christ. You could do Come Let Us Adore Him in the inside. Isn't that so cute? Oh my goodness. Designer paper is really awesome, guys. So that's where you don't have to buy Stampin' Up's designer paper if you guys have Christmassy designer paper of your own. I'm just giving you ideas of, so, you know, if you're paper hoarders, take out that paper that you haven't used. If you've got some Christmas paper, and do similar things like this with the paper you already have. Okay, so stick with me for one more card because this one's going to be fun. And we're going to do another play along with me. Isn't that cute? So cute. Christmas begins with Christ. So sweet. Okay, so look at all the stuff you can do with just our designer paper. So pretty. And some extra little accent stuff. So much fun. So you can make it look simple and cute to really elegant and pretty using our die cutting machine. Now, I'm going to now show you a fun technique that I saw from one of my Stampin' Up! Friends, Emma Goddard, is in England. And that's always fun too. Thank you guys for playing along when I do the fun, silly little questions. Like recently I asked where would you guys want to go if you could travel somewhere, anywhere. And there were some England people, some Italy, Australia. There's quite a few places on my bucket list, but I had mentioned I would love to see Scotland or Ireland. All right, we're going to play with our clear embossing powder. I hope we still have clear. I think we do, as I say that. Okay. So first I am taking out my snowflakes from the Snowflakes blender. This is our Versamark pad. I have had this Versamark pad since 2004. Okay, I'm telling you, when you buy certain products, they're going to last a really long time. I did not have to refill this till 2012. Do you see that? I do not use my embossing or the Versamark all the time. So again, if you get the Versamark pad, it will last you a very long time. And then there is refill. Okay, so the tricky thing about clear embossing powder, and I'm going to go back and forth between two different snowflakes, is one, you just want to make sure your stamp is good and inked up and sticky. But you also, especially since I'm doing this on designer paper, it's pretty hard for me to see where I'm stamping. So I might overlap some of this. That's okay. I just am going to do some edges around the border of my card. So I'm going back and forth between two snowflakes from the Snowflakes blender set, right around the border. Man, I think I started up there. And hopefully I remember where I started. That's all right. It'll look cool. There's just a little tiny edge. And then, does anyone know, you can think about this when I go over to do my embossing powder. This one says, maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. Does anyone know? This was the one that took me hard. I had to ask friends, what movie is that from? It's one that a very famous children's author wrote, and they have turned it into a movie. And he's green, and he kind of has a bad attitude at first, but then the people show him what Christmas really means a little bit more than what he thought. So anyone know what movie that's from? I mean, come on, I just said he's green. What movie would that be? I'll send you a card if you know what movie that is. Okay, so I've just inked all of that up in our clear embossing powder. Now again, our clear embossing powder is hard to see. I'm putting it over paper so I don't lose my embossing powder. I want to make sure, especially the saying, because I don't want to cover that up. You are going to see some magic today. Are you guys excited? Do you even know it's coming? It's okay if not all my snowflakes it's totally covered, but I want to make sure. Okay, I'm just flicking off hopefully extra little pieces of that embossing powder. Alright, so I don't make a bigger mess, I'm going to get that powder back in here in my container. And yes, embossing powder can be a little bit messy, but it's worth the mess. I will show you why. Alright, I don't see any comments yet. Does anyone know what movie that's from? The green guy had a bad attitude. I'm going to emboss this with my heat gun, and then you'll see some magic happen. You need to talk when I'm done with my video here? Okay, I'm back. Now, it doesn't look like much, but just wait and see. I've shown you emboss resist before, but usually just on white. Now, so Emma Goddard, I was saying, I call her my friend. I'm just kind of one of her stalkers. She knows my name, but so I'm going to use my sponge roller. So we have the regular sponges that come in this size, and I cut into quarters. That's usually what you see me use. But I like how the sponge roller. Now I'm using Pacific Point to begin with, and I'm going to get it good and covered up with my Pacific Point. Now I'm going to start rolling over the designer paper. And you're going to see the magic come to life. And I'm going to use the corner of my scrap paper so my fingers don't get incredibly messy. Now you can see as I start to cover over the designer paper, what I have embossed in white is resisting, and it will become even clearer and better after I wipe it off with some paper towel. Okay, so that's some Pacific Point. Now I'm going to go a little bit darker. And use some of my Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to start in the bottom. Can you see what I'm doing here? Did anyone tell me what movie this is from? Oh, maybe I should have done that on the... Here we go. And I'm not sure if I'm going to go all the way up. I'm starting on the bottom. I kind of like a little bit of the designer paper showing through. The ink even. She covered it all up in one of her videos, but I think I'm just going to do an ombre look. But I do want the saying to be pretty clear. So you can see not all of my snowflakes got perfectly covered in the powder, and that's the tricky part with the clear powder. But at the same time, oh my goodness, isn't that fun? So cool. And then even that designer paper shows through everything that you've clear embossed. So that's fun. You can do that with any of your fold stamp sets. A bold flower. But there's a fun Christmassy one. Now, let me show you what I mean. When I take a little paper towel and I'm getting just a little bit of that extra ink that's right on what we heat embossed in the clear. And that makes everything that I clear embossed even a little bit more crisp and fun. Isn't that pretty? So that's heat embossing with clear powder over designer paper. And then when you sponge over it, it resists all the ink, and those images that you sponge show through the pattern of that designer paper, which is kind of fun. Very cool. And then I could just put that on the white card base and call it good. Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, isn't that pretty? So yes, I showed you a few tips and a few fun new techniques. How cool. I'm glad you joined me. And really wanted to highlight and show how awesome our designer paper is. Again, today is the last day to say yes to getting a paper share. And that just saves you, instead of spending $250 on all the paper in the holiday catalog, you can spend that and kind of budget yourself. So today's the last day. I know, Holly, you said you had wanted to do the paper share. There's two options. The $40 and $70, that includes me shipping it to you. It'll probably even be a little more than that, but I'm trying to be generous with you guys and love on you. So pieces that I will cut up and get together for you and put in an envelope and send to you. If you do not need it shipped to you, then it's $5. I'll give you a $5 discount. So the $40 option is 100 pieces, and there are a couple of the plaid paper and Feels Like Frost is already in 6x6, but all the rest of it I'll cut in 6x6 squares for you. But you'll get 100 different pieces and samplings. So you're getting the same samplings, just the $70 option is twice as much of all the 12x12 sheets, because I'll be cutting them into 6x12 sheets. So you'll get a whole half of these pieces. So both of them are the same. You'll still get little samplings of all the same paper. So the red velvet, the brushed metal, Magic and Night paper, the heartwarming hugs, the nice traditional greens and reds. The plaid paper, Feels Like Frost, are still in 6x6 already. The poinsettia specialty paper, Snowflake Splendor, I've shown you a lot of that. The balmy blue glimmer paper, you'll get pieces of that. Poinsettia Place designer paper, and the Gilded Autumn. So you get a whole sampling of it, instead of having to buy a whole package of every single kind that you love. Because I know if you're like me, and I did buy almost all the designer paper, you want it, but you can't always afford it. That's why I sell this, guys, because I need extra help for my orders. So this is the last day. Just let me know, and we can talk about how you can pay. You can pay several ways. If it's easier for you to send a check in the mail, that's fine. Or the fastest way is if you have Chase Bank or Zelle. account, and that's automatically paid right to the bank. That's fast and easy. So you just contact me and let me know. I'm going to be closing out, ordering all the paper and everything tonight. So I do need to know by tonight if you want to do the paper share. Another thing that, and I know, hopefully it's not overwhelming to you, but I'm going to do a holiday retreat on Saturday, October 3rd. And again, guys, time is flying and time is ticking away. So next Wednesday is the last time you can register for that. I'm hoping I can get a few people because of COVID and trying to give everyone enough social distancing space. I really only have space for 8 to 10 people in person. And then I could take another 10 to 15 virtually. You would get everything here except for the free lunch, and I would just ship all the stuff to you. But this is a steal, guys. I'm not trying to really make money in this. I just want you guys to have fun. I did this last year, and it was so much fun. So it's only $50. It's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You don't have to stay that whole time. You could just come for however long you could stay, but you'll still get in a little cute bag that I put together for you. You'll get $30 of product. You'll get 8 make and take cards, kits of cards that you'll get to put together with envelopes, and that's already a $15 to $20 value. Probably everybody will get a free prize from me, but you'll get in drawings for prizes, and anyone who is ordered in September your name will already be put in there, and then if you sign up for the holiday retreat, your name will be put in there. And how I do my drawings is just so you've got more chances to win first if you've done an order, and for every $50, I'll put your name in there. So if you come, I'll pull names out, and you'll get to pick free stamp sets, paper. I'll have extra fun prizes for everybody. It's space for you guys to create anything. Now, I say anything, I mean any projects that you've been needing to work on. Maybe you've been knitting scarves, and you need to finish a couple scarves too. So after you finish making my 8 cards, you'll have extra time. You could bring knitting supplies, you could bring kits, paper pumpkin kits you haven't made, you can make tags if you want, any extra things. So if you want to order some stuff before this comes too, I would put those orders in by next week as well, just so that you can have everything in time for the holiday retreat to come. And then I will also provide a free lunch for you guys. So if you come, lunch will be on me, and we will just have a good time. Now, if you do the virtual option in the evening sometime, so probably 7 o'clock, so you could go back and you can watch it later, I will do a little virtual Facebook Live with those of you who get my swag bag, and I can explain things, and I'll put together all the cards with you if you want to join me live that evening. So it still would be October 3rd. Now, why am I trying to do something so soon here? October 3rd is World Card Making Day. So I really want to encourage you guys to come. If you can't make it to my house, try to do something fun even with friends that day and make cards and send them to someone. Because more now than ever, we need to send love to people, right? So that's my holiday retreat. Next week, September 23rd, is the last day you'll be able to register for that, and let me know if you want to do that. This is the last day to do the paper share, so let me know if you want to do that as well. There is so much wonderful paper this year. That's why I wanted to offer this to you, because I don't know, how do you even choose? The Snowflake Splendor, the plaid paper is awesome, the heartwarming hugs. I mean, this Snowflake Splendor paper is just gorgeous. The sparkly glimmer paper you get little pieces of. There's a lot to choose from. And so if you want a little piece of any of that. Oh, no one did say. No one knows where maybe Christmas seems a little bit more. Guys, it's the Grinch. He's the green guy. Remember? Grinch? The Grinch. And does anyone know? I'll give you one more chance. Does anyone know what I believe? It's silly, but I believe. Does anyone know what that's from? That's an older movie too. That's, I don't know, I think they've done a remake movie of it too, as well, but Teresa, you know what that one's from? I believe. It's silly, but I believe. Does anyone know what that movie's from? Who didn't believe, but then she did later on as an adult? And her daughter asks for a house. And she was like, no way, are you going to get that? And then they do. And it's like, whoa, he really is Santa Claus. Yes! Oh, Mom, you already got one. Yes, that's from Miracle on 34th Street. I believe. It's silly, but I believe. So this is a fun quote one. I hope you enjoyed us looking at those. This is a beautiful one if you want to focus and center your Christmas cards on Jesus. And even if you aren't very religious, a lot of these are still just classic Christmas songs that everybody sings. So you probably have friends who would appreciate a more just meaningful card that has something from a Christmas carol. So those are some awesome stamp sets. And then I showed you the beautiful, and it's buried under my cards here, the beautiful Pines embossing folder. And that does some beautiful magic as well. Really adds some beauty and detail to your paper and really does look beautiful on the brushed metal. So thank you guys for joining me. Thank you so much. Today is the last day. If you want to order using this hostess code, for the rest of September, you can just order going into my website. But today is the last day because I'll be closing that out and ordering all the paper for the paper share and closing out that order for my hostess, Chris. So CAVFRUTF, that is the hostess code that's only good through today, and then it will be done. And yes, if you've ordered anything, and I know a few of you who are watching have already ordered, thank you so much. I appreciate. I know nobody hopped on the grin. Yeah, you're fine, Mom. You're forgiven. So only 13 days left to place a final order in September, and help me out and try to help me my best to I don't know, at least finish strong, even if I don't earn the cruise. I'm so thankful for all of you. I wish I could give you all free gifts all the time because you deserve it. Thank you for those of you who come and encourage me and visit during my live videos too. I so appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And yeah, Teresa, I'll talk to you if you really do want the paper share too. We can chat about which option you want. So have a wonderful day, and hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. I hope that playing with some of this stuff made you want to sing some hopeful, beautiful songs. I love Christmas time so much. It's one of my favorite holidays. But I love them all. So you guys enjoy your Wednesday, and I will see you next week, and we'll look at another fun bundle. Bye.